Well, hello everyone. Linz, Austria, and I think we're gonna go ride one of the steepest trams in Europe. Definitely the steepest in Austria. And it's just decided to start snowing, so we'll see how this goes. So this tram takes us from the center of the old town up to what I think is called the Pöstlingberg, and it's operated for about over 120 years now. So we're gonna catch one tram to the Pöstlingberg tram, and there we go.
Nächster Halt, Oberscharmleder.
Well, we've made it to Pöstlingberg. It was steep, but not quite as steep as I was expecting. But we've got, behind me here is the lovely old style tram. And this Haltestelle here is not one like I've ever seen before. So the Haltestelle, the stop, the station, is here in this kind of tower with these lovely arches. Now, back when this tram was originally created, it was a narrow gauge track of only 1 meter wide, and it remained 1 meter wide until 2009 when they closed it down for refurbishment and they widened the track, or they changed the track anyway. I'm not sure what they made it into, but this, back then they only had open carriage trams, at least initially, and then they had closed door. But it is lovely up here. Lots of snow. Down in the city there wasn't anything but kind of rainy slush. This lovely old sign. Up this way there's a church. Also there's something called the Grotenbahn. I think it has to do with Märchens or fairy tales. So that's got to be what that little fella is here for. But we're here for 30 minutes until the train scoots back down the mountain. So let's have a look at this church. One of the really nice things about being up here is how totally peaceful it is. You can't hear anything but a few birds in the trees. It's really nice, especially going from the city where there's always noise of one thing, or one kind or another. But right here is a monument dedicated to the fallen soldiers from Linz from both world wars. But we'll just continue on up this way to this church. Well, here we are at the church. Just a short hike up the little hill. As I understand it, this church was built in the 18th century and was a pilgrims church for a while. So people made pilgrimages here to the church. For some, probably a saint, a local saint or something. I guess we'll go in and find out. But I also know that this spot up here was used by the Austrian military for a long time as well. And there was a fort up here, and looks like we can enter in here. Ehre sei Gott in der Höhe. Honor be God in the highest. Mission. think you can see that too well in the video, but it's really nice. Looks like one of these funnel mats. Looks like they have a new organ. Over here we've got a gebet in the Corona-Krise, prayer in the Corona crisis. But what a lovely high altar. Really grand in the way the light hits the gold and shines. Your eye can't help but be drawn to it. Here in the altar itself, there's two small doors in the middle. I wonder if there's some kind of, well, I was going to say relic, but those are probably the sacramental chalices and paraphernalia. This pulpit is beautiful. I really like the black and gold. This over here is for collections. It says Vergelt's which I would say you mean God rewards. Looks like a book in memoriam. The confession boxes. And then this is the baptismal font. This is a fine looking statue. I don't know if it, oh wait. Saint Leopold. So there's Saint Leopold. I don't know why he has a church, but he does. So this is another dedication to those who died in World War II, 1945, 1965. That's interesting. It says, much pain, many blessings. I think why it says 1945, 1965 is it's talking about those men who were captured by the Russians on the Eastern Front and were taken into prison work camps. sometimes over a decade before being released. There's quite a few who come from this area. This is looks like it's a shrine to Mary. It's people who looks like have written, Liebe Gottes Mother, Dear Mother of God, thank you for your help. So these are sort of prayers and expressions of thankfulness. And these seem to be little votive offerings to her. That one's interesting. That's real human hair. Let's see if I can read that. I'm not good with the old writing. I can't read it right now. But it's got to be rather on the old side just because of the human hair and the braids used. Oh, looks like there's a picture of the church. It was on fire at one point. Some nice paintings up there. More photographs of the Virgin Mary and let's see. Was ich auch tu, Gott sieht mir zu. What I do, God sees. Looks like some paintings that have faded over the years that would probably be really bright if it was cleaned up. It's kind of just a nice, pleasant painting of the Virgin Mary. I like that one. And some monk. More things in memoriam and votive offerings. I really like these old windows. Oh. Oh, wow. So we have a picture of a crypt, a man in a casket, and then the church is on fire and one of the steeples is collapsing. It says, fire catastrophe, 31st of May, 1963. So that's when that happened. I wonder how that fire started. I wish I could show you just how magnificent this is. Being in this room feels. It's so big. And that's so tall. And it looks like over here, if you need holy water, you can buy it here for €2. Wallfahrtsbezirke Pöstlingberg. You can buy little postcards and things in German and Czech. And it's just sort of on your own or paying right there in the casa. We also have a Saint Sebastian over here. I think he's the patron saint of bridges. I've seen him on bridges a lot, I think. And of course, St. Jude is here as well. I think St. Jude is the saint of hopeless causes. That's why St. Jude's Hospital's named such. Well, that was a neat church. Glad we were able to go in and have a look around. If it was a clear day up here, there's spots to look out, and you'd get a great view of the Danube River and down to the city of Linz. But with it snow and there's practically no visibility, there's no way you can see the river or anything. So let's just head back down to the train station and we'll make our way back to Linz. Maybe get something to eat. Looks like this is a bit of a happening place in the summer. Got souvenirs and Sugar Mario, Zucca Mario, whatever that is. So, eating establishment of some kind. And over here would be a lookout. That's a neat portal. It's private property. Over here we've got some information for the Bergbahn, the mountain rail. Engineer Joseph Urbanski had the idea in 1891. Started work 1893 with a Viennese construction firm and began operations 29th of May 1898. It says it's among the steepest Leibungsbahnen, so trains that I really don't know how to translate that. Trains that just operate normally, like on the ground. It's a steepest friction train. One of the steepest friction trains in the world. There we go. And here we look into the abyss of snow. It'll be interesting to see if, when we get back to Linz, if it's just gone back to being the slushy stuff. And this says the Bergbahnhof, mountain train station. Ooh, almost slipped. Stone and brick. It's where they keep their ivy. Though I thought ivy would be fine in winter. And here we are, back at the spot. Here comes the tram.
Nächster Halt, Pöstlingberg Schlüssel. Ausstieg links.
It's not snowing really. Well, it's not sticking, down here in the city. Right across from the church is a place for your pop. I want to share with you a popular sort of street food that you can find here in Germany and Austria and other places across Europe. In England, they call it a kebab. In Germany, they'll call it a kebab, or more often, they'll call it a döner. And this is a döner variant called a dürüm kebab or dürüm döner. And to Americans, I mean, I've always considered it more like a Turkish burrito. So let's dig in. So it looks pretty much exactly like a burrito. Smells really good. Inside is kebab meat, which it's also kind of a mystery meat. You can get lamb. There's chicken, I think. I don't know what meat this is. If it's a mixture of lamb and chicken, I guess we'll find out. But there's also like a white sort of cucumber sauce, lettuce, tomatoes, red cabbage, and red onion. So I'm going to tuck in. Just got a lot of the tortilla-like thing there. I'm not sure what they call the tortilla. I guess I've just always thought of it and referred to it as a tortilla. Get another bite with some meat. Should have grabbed a napkin. But it's really, really good. See there, got the meat, tomato, the sauce, and the lettuce. The meat itself too is spiced, and so the way they have the meat in the shops is they'll have it on a vertical spit. I guess in the States we have them more as like a Greek gyros or gyros, however you want to call them. But yeah, this is what I would call a Turkish burrito. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.